Hello everyone, this is devlog number 3 for Supernova TD. We're just going to jump into things very quickly here. So this week I was primarily working on the various systems for that affect gameplay. So there's 7 different stations. If you've ever played Faster and Light, kind of works like that, where you have like an energy investment into each station. Each station does a certain thing. So we'll just go over them one by one quick. So the engineering station affects repair speed, and basically when you have 4 energy into something, you're getting the way it's balanced is you at 4 energy you're getting 100% of the value. So as you start to dip down, you're sacrificing. So repair speed is 100% with 4. You can right click these and left click to add energy and take out energy. So it just lowers the repair speed, and you see here when you go all the way to 1, you actually have a chance of failing the repair. We'll just jump over here quick because you can see the countdown above this icon is the repair speed. So that'll actually see it jump down from 8 to 5 because I put more energy into engineering and increase the repair speed. So there's 3, kind of jumping all over the place here, but there's 3 different style of icon here. So if you see the bright red means you have energy into it, but it's damage. So you see here we have 4 energy in this, but we're only getting 3. As opposed to here, these red are not as bright as this. So that means this station has 2 damage, but there's no energy invested into the station, so repairs are not going to go underway. So if I were to put 2 energy into this sensor station, the repairs are going to begin, and you can see they did. So at the end of this 16 seconds, the 3rd level will be repaired. The 4th is not going to repair until you put a 4th energy into it. So it's sort of, you have to go all over the place and figure out where you want your energy to be. I'm gonna reset the level quick because there's a lot of stuff spawning. So now that I got that out of the way, we talked about repair speed. So this is the shield generator. So if you notice in the right here in the bottom center, I have God mode on right now, but if you were to not have that, you take damage over time. And the way you win the level is you have to kill every enemy before you are dead. In between each level, your shield is fully repaired. And it's sort of balanced around you should win as this is running out. Any damage to your hull, this bottom bar here, is permanent. And this is a permadeath game. If that hits 0, your ship is destroyed and you're going to lose. The idea is that the enemies are boarding your ship and that you need to get rid of them, and then the encounter is over and you've won the level and you can go to the next one. So the shield generator affects how long your shields last. That's basically it. It's then we have research. Research affects your critical strike chance. If you have only 1 energy, you actually do not crit. You'll be reduced by 100%. So each of these points, the way it's balanced is that having 1 energy into something is sort of critically bad. It's like, I mean, obviously it's going to be the worst case scenario, but it's a larger jump between 1 and 2 as opposed to 2 and 3. So you see here the crit's reduced by 50% at energy 2, then 3 is 25%. So there's less of a benefit to having 4 energy, but there's a huge benefit of having 2 over 1, for example. Next up is security. So when you have a low security, there is a % chance a new enemy will spawn every, right now it's 3 seconds. That's going to get changed probably, but so we just lower this. Now 50% chance. It's a little hard to tell because the way it works is when enemies leak, like in a traditional game, when enemies leak, traditional tower defense game, when enemies leak, you lose lives and the enemy's gone. You don't have to deal with it anymore. In this game, they keep looping. So you have to deal with these enemies. They have to all die for the level to be over. And let me just jump over to teleportation quick. Leaked enemies have a 50% chance of creating clones. And they'll create the clones based on their current HP and all those other stats. So if like an enemy is almost dead and it creates a clone, the clone will be almost dead too. But if an enemy is full HP, then it's going to be a full HP enemy. And actually that can get really bad. I'll explain what these are. These enemies here, these are shield drones. And this blue aura here, they're giving energy shield to every enemy here at a pretty steady rate. So they're buffing them up quite strongly. So these enemies, if they clone, are going to be very hard to deal with. Also, the teleport level will affect this button, which allows you to teleport a... where is it here? Oh, wrong button. This lets you teleport a tower on a cooldown. So you see here, we only had 1 energy, so it says 60-second cooldown. If we had 4 energy, it'd be a 15-second cooldown. So you can reposition it better. What haven't we gone over yet? We went over security, sensors. So there are 4 damage types in the game and 3 life pools. So if you look at this enemy up here, he's got a red and blue life bar. Some of these have gray, some have blue, some have all 3. The blue life bar is shield, the gray life bar is armor, and the red life bar is life. So there's 4 types of damage. There's a fire damage, which does 1.5 times damage to life, but it does less to the others. And there's EMP damage, that does extra to shields, but less to the rest. So that's what sensor is affecting, your sensor level. If your energy investment here is too low, those numbers are going to be skewed badly for you. So 50% at energy 1, instead of the fire dealing 1.5 to life, it's now dealing 0.75. Again, these are all going to get balanced and change, but that's the general idea behind it right now. It's basically a damage multiplier. We went over teleport, and then weapons. This is just another kind of damage multiplier. With 4 energy, you get 100% of the tower base damage. With 3, it's 90. Right now, I mean, if you look here, like, everything is damaged. That's not balanced right now. I had it set to be damaged pretty often because I needed to test things. So if you'll notice, there's a ton of enemies here, like almost too much, and it's actually starting to lag a little bit. Yeah, we're a low frame rate, but this is realistically, you either would have killed off enemies or you would have lost by now. So I'm not really concerned with the frame rate because I've let this level run on with God mode for way too long. And with a low security, they're creating clones. The low teleport, they're creating clones. Let's just restart the level real quick. And finally, I added, well, 2 more things. I added an inspect button. So you click this, and it says hover over an enemy. And in the bottom left there, a little tooltip appears. And it just gives you some basic information about the enemy. If the enemy has a special ability, it will be talked about here. So, you know, if all these enemies spawn and you're like, I don't know what any of these do, they just look like enemies to me. So let's mouse over this guy. Shield drone, generate shield for surrounding enemies. Spider mech, kind of cute in a please don't kill me sort of way, has high armor. And you can see the high armor because it's got a large gray bar, as opposed to anything else. The warrior regenerates the life of enemies around him, has a high health pool. And that's pretty much it for that. In addition to all the energy management with the ship systems here, when you place a tower, you can see here, this is the amount of energy it's going to cost to place it. So we have 4 out of 20 energy right now. This flame tower is going to cost 2. So we place that. This drops down to 2 out of 20. Now let's say, hypothetically, this is down here, and you're... Oops, your teleport is on cooldown for a minute. But there's no enemies down here, and there's stuff up here where you have other towers. What you can do is you can now click this button to disable it. And you'll notice we got the energy back. So we're 4 out of 20 instead of 420. I'm immature, don't mind me. All of the placeholder numbers, if you look here, like these numbers here when you're not actually running the game, they all say 69. Very immature, don't blame me, it's who I am. I'm an honest person at least. So the icon grays out here. This means it is disabled, and we can just enable it again. And you'll see it took the energy that it needs to work, and we can just go back and forth. Might add a little bit of a cooldown so you can't completely spam it, but I don't really see that as a problem right now. So again, if this was useless down here, say there were no enemies down here, we can just disable it, and we can put more energy into a system, for example, to help with towers up here trying to clear out the enemies. Also, you do need to make sure you have enough energy. So I just placed this tower, which cost 1. Now we have 1 energy here. The flame tower requires 2. So if we try and re-enable it, it doesn't work. We need to take energy out of something. Now it works again. Ta-da! And I think that's all I really have to say for this week. I think the game is getting to a point where I have all the systems added that I want to be in the game. So now it's just a matter of adding more enemies, adding more towers, doing some balancing. So I'm hoping within a month or so, I'm going to be at a point where you guys can test the game if that's something you're interested in. If that is something you're interested in, there will be a link to the Discord down below. Consider joining us there. And that's all I've got for this week. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one.